coming up for the B-Mods. Top 2 drivers out of each of those B mains will advance into tonight's A main.
So Josh Ferris scheduled to be front row on the inside in this one, the 90 car alongside the 30 of Mark Long. Row 2 on the inside, Jeremy Price, the 11P, is outside. We will find Shannon Anastopoulos, the 75 car. Row 3 on the inside, Gene Cisco, the 44, alongside Jimmy Body, the 3rd, the 71 to the 3rd car on the outside of row 6. Cole Stillwell, the 9 car on the inside of row 4. The Wheeler, Union 77 on the outside of row 4. Wesley Briggs, the 28B car on the inside of row 5. Tyler Imhoff to the outside, the 33. Bobby King, the 15S car, your final starter here in B main number 1 of 4.
So here we go. Let's try that again. Shane, I was just practicing without the microphone turned on. We'll run through that lineup again. The 90 of Josh Ferris, the 30 of Mark Long, the 11P Jeremy Price, Shannon Anastopoulos in the 75, Gene Cisco the 44, the 71 Jimmy Body, and the 9R of Cole Stillwell, Nathan Wheeler, the N77, Wesley Briggs, the 28B, 33 of Tyler Imhoff, and Bobby King, the 15S. Green flag in the air for B main number 1. Top 2 advance. B main number 1 underway here for the B-Mods. Everybody trying to race their way into the Schoenfeld Headers A main as Josh Ferris comes by to lead lap number 1. Ferris, the Harrison, Arkansas racer, out in front of your field. Mark Long in second. Your 2 pole sitters in this one right now run 1-2. Jimmy Body the 3rd in the 3rd place spot. Shannon Anastopoulos, that rounds out the top 4 of this one. As the 90 of Ferris sets the pace here in B main number 1. Car up in smoke down the back straightaway. He pulls off into the infield. We stay green. The 11P of Jeremy Price, the driver that we lost in this one, pulled off into the infield with mechanical issues. We're able to stay green. Josh Ferris and Mark Long continue to lead in this one. Jimmy Body the 3rd, though, knocking on the back door for a transfer spot. Shannon Anastopoulos right there as well. Anastopoulos with a good drive along the top side of the speedway off of turn number 2. Body off the pace now in the 71. He was challenging for the final transfer spot as Shannon Anastopoulos now jumps up into the final transfer. Jim Body with a right front flat. There you see it on screen as he rolls down into turns 1 and 2. So the Diamond, Missouri racer with a right front flat that will take him out of this one. Tough break for Jimmy Body the 3rd as Josh Ferris leads in the 90. Caution is out. I believe Body in the 71 was unable to exit the raceway over in the backstretch, and that was the cause for the caution. Again, the right front going down in the 71 of Jimmy Body. Tried to pull off into the infield and couldn't quite get it done, so the caution flag comes out. Josh Ferris, your race-long leader in this one, the 90 out of Harrison, Arkansas. He leads Shannon Anastopoulos in second. Mark Long just on the outside looking in. He had ran in that second and final transfer spot for several laps before Anastopoulos in the 75 was able to take over the final transfer spot just a few laps ago before the caution came out. So lineup being deemed good. Per the race officials, should be able to get this one restarted maybe next time around. Caution lights do go down. Here we go. Going to try it this time in turn number 4. First B main here for the B-Mods. Ferris and Anastopoulos back to the green flag. Got a car slow at the top side of turns 3 and 4. We will keep an eye on him, and I believe he is going to roll to a halt. Caution will come out. Looks like the 9 of Xlll stopped at the top of turns 3 and 4, and now back under his own power, but not before we had to bring the caution flag out. The first of 4 B mains here for the B-Mods. Top 2 drivers out of each of those B mains will fill out the 20-car starting grid. A $1,200 top prize, $160 to start tonight's B-Mod A main here at the Bad Boy Mowers Turkey Bowl 13. And now looks like they're calling for a hook on the front end of the 9 of Xlll over in turn number 4.
Like you said earlier, Bryce, I don't think they're wanting the money, though. I think they're wanting them trophies.
They're wanting those little metal turkeys sitting right on the front straightaway. Yeah, those trophies are cool. You can see them right down on the front stretch, just past the flag stand, the big checks behind them, and, yeah, the liquor's right out in front of them, too, that Wild Turkey 101. If I had known we were going to have 4 B-Mod B mains coming into the night, I may have grabbed one of those Wild Turkey 101s to just kind of help move this along. It was actually the modified heats, I think, that we needed the Wild Turkey one. Or maybe somebody got a hold of an extra bottle. Maybe that was the casualty, maybe.
If we have a bottle missing, we know where it went to.
Something else to check for in tech. Who had it? But yeah, we talked about it a little bit. Just what a great event. Jerry Hoffman and staff here have put together 200 race cars in 6 classes here this evening. Over 50 B-Mods, over 40 Modifieds, over 40 Midwest mods, 24 super late models. Just a great turnout. Thank all you great race fans who are here braving this thing in the weather with us, as well as everybody.
ShowMeDirt.com.
Hope each and every one of you are enjoying the show. We still got plenty of racing to go. This B main and 3 more for the B-Mods, and then 6 big features to determine who's taking home those metal turkeys. So here we go. Caution lights are out. Ferris in the 90, Anastopoulos in the 75. Right now, your top 2 transfers here in the first of 4 B-Mod B mains. Green flag in the air, and we're back underway. And the 15 of King with trouble down in turn number 1, and we will bring the caution out once again just like that. So Bobby King goes around in turn number 1, the Independence, Missouri racer. Had a couple cautions as well in his heat race. It's just been overall a tough night for the 15S of Bobby King. So a push truck headed around to turn number 1 to take care of the 15 of King.
Did not finish his heat race and not finishing the B feature, so tough night for him, but we're glad he made the haul here to Springfield Raceway. As I said earlier, I wish that we could just put all these drivers into the A main, but we can't. But we just appreciate all these drivers still coming out and making an entry and making a show for these fans to watch online and here at the racetrack.
Absolutely. This B-Mod field quite diverse here this evening as well. Bobby King, one of them, several drivers from the I-35 Speedway area. A lot of drivers making their way out of that part of the country. They just wrapped up their point season a few weekends ago, so no surprise those drivers still with race-ready cars. Several drivers making it from UMP land as well, the Illinois contingent. Of course, all the great local show-me state racers, some drivers from Arkansas and Oklahoma as well as Kansas in this B-Mod field as well. So, yeah, a great turnout of cars. Certainly tough to make it into an A-main when there's 53 drivers and only 20 spots in that 1,200 to win, 160 to start A-main that will take place a little bit later on in the evening. Schoenfeld Headers, the presenting sponsor of the B-Mod A-main that these drivers are trying to race their way into. So Josh Ferris, the 90, your leader in this one, racing out of Harrison, Arkansas, and the 75 of Shannon Anastopoulos from Carl Junction. The top two right now, the 30 of Mark Long just on the outside looking in, the Willard, Missouri racer. .28 of Briggs in fourth. So here we go. Caution lights are out. So the green flag and the white flag will wave at the same time. A one-lap shootout to the finish. Ferris and Anastopoulos. Anastopoulos has a look off of turn number 4, but it'll be Josh Ferris that picks up the win. So B-main at number 1 in the books for the B-Mod. Shannon Anastopoulos finishes up in the second place spot. Anastopoulos in the 75, and your B-main winner as he keeps her gassed up down the front straightaway out of Harrison, Arkansas, the 90 of Josh Ferris, your winner in B-main number 1. B-main number 2 will see the Springfield Raceway track champion on the pole, Jackie Dalton out of Carthage, Missouri. The 21 will be on the pole this one with Doug Tye to his outside. Tye out of Troy, Illinois in the 4D car. Cameron Grinstaff lines up second row on the inside. Grinstaff from Independence, Missouri. In the 57, Jeff Doty will line up to his outside. Doty in the 77X car. Ferris Collier on the inside of row number 3. Ferris out of Kimberling City, Missouri. The 86 is outside of the Austin Joplin. Joplin out of Willard. The 18 car on the outside of row number 3. Cal Turner on the inside of row 4. In the 66, Brad McKinnon to his outside. McKinnon from Rolla, Missouri. And your final two starters, Grove, Oklahoma's Brady Hutchison and the 65 of Chris Jackson. I would be willing to bet, Shane, all eyes will be glued on the 65 in this one, as he will work his way from the tail of the field to try to get into a transfer spot. A past Turkey Bowl champion, this year's USRA B-Mod National Champion Jackson having to come from the back of the pack as we turn him loose off at turn number 4. Jackie Dalton to the lead. Down the back straightaway. They'll come by to lead lap number 1. Doug Tye taking a peek down to the inside of the 21 of Jackie Dalton. Jackie Dalton leads the 21. Doug Tye in second. 77 of Doty in that third place spot. It's the 57 of Grinstaff, the 18 of Joplin. The 65 of Chris Jackson trying to work his way up through the pack as well. We mentioned it there at the drop of the green. We'll keep an eye on the 65 of Jackson as he tries to roll up into the top 2. He's looking to the outside of Grinstaff through turns 3 and 4 this time. Now Joplin pedaling up behind him as well right now. Jackson works to the bottom move of the speedway. The door opens down to the inside of the 18 of Joplin, and now we've got a fire underneath the hood of the 65 of Jackson. So a fire underneath the hood of the 65 of Jackson. And we will bring the field to a stop to ensure that safety crews can make their way over to the 65 of Chris Jackson. There you can see Jackson climbing from the 65, so Jackson out of the car. So Chris Jackson, we see him there on screen out of the 65, as it has been a bad night for Jackson.
For all of your latest videos, go to videos.showmedirt.com.
The car looks good.
The inside of the car, the outside of the car looks good. I did a Bryce Hall, I had my mic turned off, but the motor, you didn't know what was inside of the motor, what happened in the motor after he flipped. But he was moving through the pack pretty good. It's just, well, it was just a guessing game and a gambling game on how long that car or that motor could last after the damage it had done in the heat race.
Yeah, when he was able to drive off, after they turned that car back over, but there was a lot of smoke coming out from underneath the 65 when he drove off, so certainly some issues on the internals of the power plant after being turned up on its lid earlier in the evening. And you can see Chris right now taking a look underneath the hood of the 65 car. Just a tough break for him. We mentioned a past Turkey Bowl champion. He's just fresh off a great campaign to pick up his second consecutive USRA B-Mod title. He had 28 wins under the USRA banner this season, so it's been a great year for the 65 at Jackson, but that success coming to a unfortunate halt here this evening. He'll climb back into the cockpit of that 65. The push truck will assist him off of the racetrack. Jackie Dalton scored your leader in this one, the 21. The 57 of Cameron Grinstaff jumps back on the racetrack, so he will rejoin the field here in B main number 2 as the caution lights go down around the Springfield Raceway. So Jackie Dalton, the 21, ready to bring us back up to speed off of turn number 4, single file restart. Doug Ty trying to hang on to a transfer spot. Green flag back in the air. Austin Joplin runs in the third place spot on this restart. Carthage, Missouri's Jackie Dalton. That Hoffman race car. Auto Express number 21. Doug Ty still in second. Joplin, Cale Turner, and Ferris Collier, your top 5 runners in this one, as Jeff Doty's off the pace down the back straightaway. He will pick the throttle back up and stay on track. We'll keep him cranked up with Dalton still your leader in 21. Jackie Dalton out in front of your field, a half a straightaway advantage for the Springfield Raceway 2019 track champion. A Hoffman race car for Dalton, double duty here tonight. We'll see him in the late model a little bit later on in the evening as well. Doug Ty still in that second place spot as the white flag comes in the air off of turn number 4. One more lap to go, B main number 2. Checkered flag waves off of turn number 4. Jackie Dalton gets it done in B main number 2. So that'll do it. In B main number 2, Doug Ty takes the final transfer spot, the 4D. Your B main winner, though, he comes to you out of Carthage, and then Hoffman Race Car, Auto Express, Watson Metal Masters number 21. Jackie Dalton, your winner in B main number 2. So Jackie Dalton moves on along with the 4D of Doug Ty as B main number 3 rolls out of the staging area. Don Mars on the front row of this one, the owner of Lakeside Speedway, will set on the pole this one out of Shawnee, Kansas. He'll be on the pole. To his outside, we'll find Nick Haynes. Haynes racing out of Trenton, Missouri, the 9H car. Row 2 on the inside, Jeremy Bennett, the 21J out of Ottawa, Kansas. His outside, Michael Foster. Foster out of Billings in the 32. Caden Stacy, the 15X, will line up third row on the inside. Olin Stevens to the outside, the 12 junior out of Warrensburg, Missouri. Row 4 to the inside, it's John Ross. Ross out of Independence in the 64 alongside Bill Shar, the 51 out of St. Roberts, Missouri. Your final 2 starters, Terry Taylor. Taylor out of Fort Gibson, Oklahoma in the 33T, and Bub Wald to his outside. Bub in the 6B out of Carterville, Missouri. B main at number 3 of 4. Here we go. Top 2 drivers go. Don Mars into the side of the 9H of Nick Haynes. The 9s come together. So the 9 of Haynes, the 9 of Mars get together on the start of that one. It sorts itself out. Jeremy Bennett in the 3rd place spot. Here's a complete lap number 1. Haynes will be your leader. Haynes picking up 1A feature win this season, the I-35 Speedway in Winston, Missouri. He leads the field. He races out of Trenton in that 9H car. Don Mars in the 2nd place spot in that red number 9. 32 of Michael Foster going to work on the 21 of Jeremy Bennett. That's for the 3rd place spot. Those 2 race side by side through turns 3 and 4. Bennett and Foster in a pretty good race for 3rd. It'll be all for naught, though, if they can't catch Don Mars in this one, as Mars sets on the 2nd final transfer spot. Nick Haynes continues to lead your field. Don Mars with a left rear tire rub.
For all of your latest videos, go to videos.showmedirt.com.
Tire rub on the Shawnee, Kansas racer Don Mars machine. We'll see if that holds up for the remainder of this one as he sets in the 2nd and final transfer spot. Terry Taylor's around over in turn number 2. Bub Wald right there as well in the 6B car. Just kind of spun to avoid colliding into the 33T of Terry Taylor. So those 2 cars stopped at the bottom of turn number 2 to slow the field. We mentioned during green flag conditions, Shane, that 9 of Don Mars had a pretty significant tire rub. We'll see if that holds up. The left rear quarter panel leaning in on the left rear tire of that 9 car, so we'll have to keep an eye on that as he sets in the 2nd final transfer spot.
You talk about a track owner that's worked very, very hard. He has worked very, very hard to get Lakeside back to going after they had a Mother Nature attack them earlier in the season, and they get that. They got a few races in towards the end of the season, but good to see the 9 of Don Mars here tonight. And like you said, hopefully that tire rub won't be digging much into that tire and be able to make it through the B feature here.
Jeremy Bennett, the 21J, right now on the outside looking in, the Ottawa, Kansas racer. Right now, 1 spot out of a transfer spot. Michael Foster, the Billings, Missouri racer, in 4th. As the caution lights have gone down, we're ready to refire them. B main number 3 for the B-Mods. Nick Haynes continuing to lead your field. Don Mars in the second place spot. Those two in transfer spots right now. The rest of the field trying to catch them, but the top two have broken away from the rest of the pack in this one, as Haynes and Mars well out in front of your field. A pair of nines at the front of the field here in B main number 3. White flag in the air and one more lap to go. Into turn number 3 and out of turn number 4 for the final time. The 9 of Nick Haynes will win B main number 3. The rest of your field crossing under the checkered flag. So there you have it. The 9s move on in that one. The 9 of Don Mars takes the final transfer spot. Your B main winner out of Trenton, Missouri, the 9H of Nick Haynes, your winner in B main number 3. So the 9H of Haynes wins. The 9 of Mars finishes up in second. And we get set for the final B main for the B mods. Chris Succi will be on the pole with this one. Succi out of Peevely, Missouri on the front row inside. Outside row number 1 we'll find Dan Culp, the 45 out of Hinesville, Arkansas. Row 2 the inside, it's Wes Long, and the 37 is outside. The 2 of Corey Johnson out of Kimberling City. Row 3 on the inside, John Yeoman, the 4th, the 84 car, alongside the 21M of Scotty Martin. Martin out of Independence. Row 4 on the inside, we'll find the 15L of Chris Lewis out of Springdale, Arkansas, alongside Prairie Grove, Arkansas's Doug Jones in the 1. Bo Nelson racing out of Hackett, Arkansas, the 41N car on the inside of row 5 with Dustin Leatherman. To his outside, the 77 from Muskogee, Oklahoma. 4th and final B main, ready to come to green, looking for the top 2 to advance into tonight's A main. There we go, the 4th and final B main for the B mods. Chris Succi, the XlII out of Peevely, Missouri. Normally pilots a Sportsman at the I-55 Speedway, making a little contact there with the 45 of Dan Culp. Those two got together for a moment. The 2 of Corey Johnson now in the mix. He'll grab the second final transfer spot off of turn number 2. Wes Long in the 37 now will take the final transfer spot at the line. Chris Lewis putting together a pretty good march. Scotty Martin right there as well, as they're 3 wide behind your top 2. 3 wide down into turns 3 and 4. Lewis to the inside, Martin in between, and the 2 of Corey Johnson up top. 3-car shootout for the number 3 spot behind that 37 of Wes Long, as Chris Succi looks to stretch his legs out in front of your field here in the final B mod B main. Succi, that XlII, calls Peevely, Missouri home. 37 of Wes Long wheeling in the runner-up spot in this one. It's only the top 2 that move on. Kimberling City, Missouri racer, the 2 of Corey Johnson, a pretty good race with the 21 of Scotty Martin. Those two make a little contact off of turn number 2. No harm, no foul just yet, as Corey Johnson hangs on to 3rd as we work off of turn number 4. Chris Succi out in front of your field. The XlII, the 37 of Wes Long, runs in second. Corey Johnson still making up the top 3 of this one. Scotty Martin in fourth. Chris Lewis and Dustin Leatherman, a pretty good race for the fifth place spot, working off of turn number 2 as the white flag comes to the air. One more lap to go for Suchi and XlII. Checkered it to the air. Chris Suchi will win a B main number 4. Wes Long crosses in second. The rest of your field takes the checkered. They will have to watch the Schoenfeld headers A main from the stands. Wes Long takes the second and final transfer spot in that one. But your winner out of Peevely, Missouri, that Extreme brand fuel number XlII, Chris Suchi, your winner in the final B-Mod B main. With that, Shane, it is A main time. I believe we've got